So E3 is officially over and I am officially depressed once more. It goes so fast. Today we've got Archie on the panel because I thought why not for the final show get a brand new perspective in. It's someone we haven't seen yet, so thank you very much for joining me, Archie.
It's quite alright, you obviously saved the best guest till last.
Oh, of course. So today we're going to be talking Sony and Nintendo, two really interesting conferences, a lot of debate on as to who was the best this year, Sony or Nintendo. We're going to talk about that later on, so let's get straight into the games. Today we're talking about Sony and Nintendo. We'll start off with Sony because me and you are both Sony through and through, right?
Yeah, much more Sony.
Yeah, I mean...
When it comes to consoles, I think PlayStation always have had that edge over Xbox.
Yeah, I started with Xbox, but I've come a lot onto the Sony side of things, and this year Microsoft did almost make me buy an Xbox, and I might have to buy an Xbox, but Sony is still my first love.
The only reason I ever considered buying an Xbox One was because of one particular game, Rise on a Rome.
Oh,
that game almost made me buy an Xbox One, but I thought, no, it's available on PC. We'll go to the Master Race instead.
We'll go to Steam. It's good. It's good. So, Sony this year had a lot of interesting announcements, and we'll start off with Days Gone because they released that. They announced it last year, and I was really super pumped for a brand new. Well, they don't want to call it. The devs say they don't want to call it a zombie game because they're not zombies. You can shoot them anywhere and they'll die, which by definition is apparently a mutant.
Well, yeah, because obviously there's all that the stigma with zombies is always sort of kill him in the head.
Yeah,
you know, this and the other. So I suppose maybe they're taking it in a very different, well, not very different, very slightly different direction.
Yeah.
Just by making, maybe making the game a bit easier and a bit more user-friendly, rather than it having to be, you have to train from your first second in the game to be able to get headshots, or what's the fucking point?
Yeah, exactly. You know? And the developers are very, they're mutants. It is a mutant game. It's not a zombie game, but... let's face it, it goes into the zombie genre.
Yeah, it's got
zombie
elements to it. I mean, the whole apocalypse style thing, its connotations are always to zombie apocalypse, even if you call them mutants or whatever you call them, people are going to associate them as zombies.
So we got our first gameplay at E3, and did you see the trailer or the gameplay? I forget.
Bit of both. I saw the whole trailer, I saw a bit of the gameplay.
First impressions?
I think it's an interesting idea. Also, it's stuff that's been done before, but this, I think, has a slightly different take on things. It reminded me a lot of The Last of Us.
It did with me, yeah.
Yeah, with the animation style, looked very similar.
And the combat as well.
Just the whole aesthetic of the game reminded me, especially the bit where he showed the power plant, like the hydroelectricity place in The Last of Us.
Just getting vibes.
Yeah, I think...
getting nostalgia right now.
I think what it's almost like a homage to The Last of Us. It's not necessarily saying this is... it's very similar to that. It's similar, but I think it's different enough that people will want to play it as well as The Last of Us, rather than instead of.
Yeah, it's got its own little charm to it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So within the gameplay, obviously I mentioned the combat. The combat does have, it did remind me a lot of The Last of Us in that sense, because a lot of it is, you've got quick time events, and then you've got, like, you know, normal combat you would expect from, like, in The Last of Us when you were punching the zombies down onto the ground. It's got that as well. It's also got some sort of sense, like from the gameplay they showed, it almost seemed like he had some sort of, like, almost a Witcher sense.
Yeah, so maybe there's sort of like a tracking element, make it a bit easier
that's
on
what
the,
I thought,
on the players,
maybe.
'cause, like...
or maybe they'll open up some sort of puzzle, like some puzzle elements within missions, and you have to use your sense to try and work out and follow tracks and things like that.
Similar to The Witcher.
Yeah.
All I will say with that is Ubisoft, please don't make the tracks red for all us colourblind people out here who are trying to track red on green. What, sorry?
Is this Ubisoft, actually? I don't think it is.
It's Sony, is it?
It is Sony.
It's Sony.
But they didn't mention it at the Ubisoft. I don't actually know. I think it's a standalone company, to be honest. Oh.
Well, whoever you are, please
We should have done
Think
our
of the
research.
colourblind people.
Yeah, don't
Think
make
of
it
us.
red. Oh,
I
God.
struggle with The Witcher. I love the game, but whenever I'm tracking, I spend like an hour just following footprints. I'm like, Jesus.
I do remember.
Where am I going?
I do remember watching. Like, I was at yours. You were playing The
Yeah.
Witcher, and you were following this track, and then you just suddenly spray off the track.
It's
I'm like,
'cause I can't bloody see it.
Archie, turn left, and he's I'm colourblind. I can't see it.
It's they should at the very least have colourblind assist. Orange footprints. You can't be colourblind. Orange and green. It's scientific fact. Sort your lives out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain too much.
So
the rest of the gameplay is brilliant.
So as well as that, you can set up traps and things like that, which I assume you can spring on both mutants and players or other people as well as AI, and maybe animals as well, because there are animals. It does look like there are animals in the game.
Maybe there'll be sort of like a crafting hunting element to it, where you
That'd
can
be cool.
bring stuff in. Sort of like not similar to The Last of Us, but obviously again similar to Far Cry sort of stuff, where you have to hunt the animals to get bits and pieces.
I think that's something Last of Us missed as well.
Yeah,
like, they had the crafting element, but it didn't feel like such a survival game, more a resource management. You know?
Because I suppose the one thing The Last of Us didn't have was the sort of you need fur or bone or anything. It was all sort of, you find duct tape, you find nails, you find a can and some scissors, you make a bomb or you make a bat or something.
And Last of Us was a lot more linear as well.
It was.
Gameplay.
I would have liked a bit more open world element to it. Maybe sections of the game where it sort of opens up a bit where you can go and explore.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be something really interesting with Days Gone.
Yeah, I don't know if it's completely open world,
I don't
but it
know,
does look a lot more
it
open
looks
world.
much more open world than The Last of Us, because The Last of Us was obviously a very story driven game.
Yeah.
So it didn't have the areas where you can go and explore per se. Like obviously within the level, the mission area, if you will, there was bits and pieces you could walk off and find different equipment and stuff, but it didn't sort of have the feel to it, if you get what I mean. Like in the apocalypse, there wouldn't be sort of any restrictions. It would be sort of, I want to go over here, I'm going to go over there.
Yeah, all rules are out the window.
So I think they should have maybe done a bit more open world stuff. So it is more, there aren't any restrictions, this is what it would be like, it is anarchy, it's not safe, if you will. And if there should be like bandit AIs, you go over to one area and you think, oh shit, there's like a massive camp of 50 plus bandits, or you go to one place, there's like a couple just surviving. I think that would have made Last of Us a lot more realistic, I want to say. And that'd be interesting to see if that is something they do in Days Gone, because I do like the style of it.
It's one of my favourite styles. I love zombie games, you know. And one thing that strikes me about Days Gone is the huge amount of mutants that, like, you know, with the next gen consoles, like, we've been waiting to see, like, a lot of games have shown us what these consoles can do, and especially with the Xbox One X they released this year, being the most powerful console. I think especially this year's all years, we need to see more as to how far we can push games. And I really do think this game pushes the zombie survival genre. I mean, we've got Dead Rising, which obviously renders a huge amount of zombies, but they're not much of a threat, I feel.
No,
you know, you play Dead Rising for a laugh.
Because I suppose the thing with Dead Rising is it is very quite comical, really. Isn't it?
It is very comical.
You create what you want and kill zombies in these brilliantly novel ways. It's, if you want to run them over in a kid's bike, do it, you know.
In one of those little like red and yellow kids' cars.
You can get on a tricycle and run 500 zombies over. It's I think Dead Rising had the potential to be very realistic and very good, but they took it maybe a bit too far towards the comedy side of things, so it is very much kill them with literally anything you want. And make ridiculous vehicles to kill them in these spectacular ways, when really, you know, in the apocalypse you just sort of think, smack them on the head and go home.
And like, I remember when I first was getting into zombie games, zombies were always like, they always made me panic, and they were always a threat to me. Now I've played so many zombie games, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a zombie. Punch its head off, like. But this game, the amount of mutants there are, and you've seen World War Z, their mechanics are like that. They scramble over each other, over
run,
stuff.
They come at you with such
terrifying,
fierce aggression that it is sort of. It does give you that panic of, oh shit, what do I do?
And I think that's what a lot of zombie games have lost.
A lot of the more modern zombie games miss that. I mean, if you go back to sort of the older stuff like Left 4 Dead, when that first came out, that was a massive...
It's terrifying.
Oh crap, look, there's 10 zombies there, what do I do? Whereas now, if you were to play something like Dead Rising, 100 zombies... No worries.
Not a problem.
Not a problem,
drop a nuke in there, like, you literally can do that.
I think this game will be brilliant, and it will really get people back into the zombie genre, purely because of the panic it will give you. Because I remember even on the Call of Duty Black Ops 2 zombies, I found that they weren't brilliant, obviously,
Yeah.
but they weren't terrible. They weren't the worst experience of zombies I saw. I think when you get to sort of level 20, wave 20, that's when you start to feel the sort of panic and the sort of,
yeah.
oh shit, what do I do?
Yeah.
But up until then, it was just sort of knife,
Yeah.
build a barricade, knife, build a barricade.
Yeah.
But then at the very last minute, it was you couldn't turn without seeing another zombie.
Yeah.
And you had to fight your way out to get to a place to fight, and then move to another place, and it was a constant movement
Yeah.
that gave you the panic, which I think Days Gone will do very well.
It's looking to be brilliant. And a couple more points. You can use the mutants as a weapon, as it was shown in the gameplay. They're attracted to noise very, very sensitively. And like, I don't know if you saw that part of the gameplay, but there was a camp of guys with bandits, and he just placed a bit of C4 that I assume he made. Like, it was like a homemade C4 device on this barricade that they'd made, hid behind a bush, made it explode, and this huge wave of them came at them. So you can use the zombies or the mutants, to your advantage. As well as that, there's also mutant bears that showed up at the end of a trailer. Big ass bear with arrows in it, blood coming from its face. I'm hoping you can use that as a weapon as well, as run for your life in fear, because that does look like fucking awesome. I do like Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare had like zombie animals, and a lot of zombie games don't tend to do that.
No.
So it'll be quite interesting to see whether it is just like a really feral bear, or maybe it's like they bring in a fantasy element of it, where it's like, you know, Undead Nightmare had like the Sasquatches and like I don't think it'll go as far as the flame horses. Obviously, that's very, very, very fantasy. But like maybe that mutant bear is some sort of like, you know, feral bear. So Days Gone is looking to be really good. But quick question before we move on. Do you think that the zombie genre has died out now? Like, how do you think this game's going to do in the market?
I don't think it's died out, but I think it has suffered a bit of a lack of interest recently, because obviously with things like The Walking Dead not being on telly at the moment, and with other things becoming a lot more prominent in games, sort of like the realistic stuff like Grand Theft Auto, Saints Row, even though that's fairly fantasy. I think it's fairly safe to say.
Only fairly, fine.
I think with games like that, and with the success of The Witcher, I think games are leaning maybe more to sort of an open world, medieval fantasy style, rather than a modern day zombie. Although, I will say I wouldn't be adverse to seeing a medieval zombie fantasy style game.
That hasn't been seen.
That hasn't been seen
Not
yet.
in games,
No.
anyway.
I think that could be. It could make quite a killing,
That
if you pardon
could
the
be
pun.
awesome. Yeah, that would be. I would love to see
Or even
that.
like a DLC for The Witcher or similar games, where there is an outbreak and you have to try and stop it, or you know, kill as many of them as you can and save as many of the people as you can. I think that would be like a really interesting idea, and you could do like Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. You could do sort of the open elements fantasy style, and have like massive open world stuff with story in there as well. But it could just be one of those fun, I want to chop zombies up with a great big sword sort of game. Maybe not quite to the extent of Dead Rising 3,
where is like you've got flames coming from your sword.
You got flames coming out your sword, your arse, your nose, and your eyes. But I think maybe something like that could maybe bring the two together and bring what's currently popular and bring back what used to be, and sort of put them on sort of more level of a playing field. To maybe give the zombie genre a boost in the gaming community.
And I think, like, especially last year, I've heard a lot of people saying, it's another zombie game. Not another zombie game. I think there was a big overload in the zombie genre. I still love the genre, but a lot of people, like we saw it with DayZ, we're seeing it with Call of Duty, there's an overload and there's a fatigue there, and people are starting to get tired of it.
Yeah, you don't want to overdo it, because people are always going to get bored of something. And if you want zombie games, make a zombie games by all means. But don't, pump them out every single week because they that first one made you money. If that first one made you money, look at the features that people like, take them, put them in a new game. Rather than just pumping out the same stuff with a different title, different character names each week,
And we have seen like State of Decay 2 has also been released this year or announced this year, so it has got a little bit of competition. But State of Decay 2 is not a Sony, a Microsoft exclusive, and I do believe Days Gone is a Sony exclusive. So it'll be interesting to see
we'll have to see
which one does better. You know, I'm really like excited for both of them. Whether like I'm probably more towards Days Gone because of the sheer, you know, the sheer amount of mutants and the way they act, and you know, State of Decay, it's not much of a threat, I don't feel, unless they've changed it in the second game where it's like you got massive hordes. But I want to see that huge volume that like we see in The Walking Dead, and you know, that huge volume that makes you think, shit, we're not getting out of this. You know,
you want the fear factor. I think the thing with people play zombie games because they want to be scared. It's like playing a horror game. It's like you want to be scared, but in a safe way. So like you sat in your living room, you're playing your game. But you feel scared. Yeah. So it's that comforting fear almost in, you know, it's not actually going to affect you.
You know, you're not actually going to come swarming through the windows.
No, you're not actually going to be personally affected, but your character would be affected. And you want there to be sort of the connection between the player and the character so much that they do panic and think, oh shit, how do I get them out of this situation? What would I do in this this situation if it were me?
I also like to imagine myself in that situation. I'm a bit of adrenaline junkie like that. Anyway, gonna have to move on. So, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy has been announced, and I thought the last Uncharted was going to be the last game, to be honest. Yeah. A lot of people were saying that, and then boom, here's another Uncharted this year. I was maybe expecting a new Tomb Raider or something this year.
Think the thing, as I just said a minute ago, you don't want to overdo it. Yeah, I think they're reaching that stage now where either this should be the last game or they should do one last big hurrah sort of multiple storylines that has multiple endings, you know, sort of thing, not just like the other ones. Yeah. Because the thing with Uncharted is, yes, they are good games and they're done very well, but how different can they be?
Yeah, it is a lot of the same storyline, isn't it? And a lot of the same game mechanics. And it is one of the most popular game franchises out there, especially that Sony have. So I am pleased to see it return. Yeah. But I don't want them to make it into...
You don't want them to just grind it to such a way that it just goes down to the bone and you just think, oh, well, there's nothing new here. This is the same game I got last year, just under a different title. You don't want it to get to that stage. So I think... even if they were just to take a break from it for a couple of years and build people's expectations and make them want another game rather than just giving them another game. Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't know when it's coming out yet. I don't exactly know what it'll entail, so I assume we'll see more of that on Gamescom later on this year. Yep. It's something that Sony are probably going to ride until the end of this year, and I'm going to predict it comes out maybe second half of next year.
Yeah, I reckon it will probably have like a massive thing about it next year at E3. And then it will come out after E3 next year.
Yeah, but some of the predictions we've made on this show this year have just been absolutely wrong. Like, like we've been like, we can't wait to see this game next year. Next day, oh, they gave us all the information today. Like, we thought we'd have to wait a year. No, I had to wait literally 24 hours.
Yeah,
so.
well,
Yeah, our predictions always wrong.
What will happen is we'll wake up tomorrow morning and we'll see that there's like a whole hour-long video explaining the intimate details of the new
Uncharted has been released.
Like, oh wait, when did that happen? At 8 o'clock tonight.
So also, I'm really excited because Horizon Zero Dawn has a new DLC coming out. Yep. I was expecting a DLC. They did say there was one coming. But I didn't know when. It's called The Frozen Wilds. It's coming later on this year, which would be awesome because I need an excuse to get back into Horizon Zero Dawn. I really do. And what will it entail? Like, we've had the main Aloy story, and looks like the trailer. If you didn't see it, it's almost like there's this big mountain volcano, and someone says to Aloy, "Oh, no one who goes up there. Like some go up there to hunt, prove themselves, all that stuff, and none of them come back alive." Yeah. It's one of those situations.
So of course she goes.
Yeah, and Aloy's like, "No, I've got
She's
this."
Like, nah, don't worry. Master Hunter me, let's do this.
And Aloy being the badass she is, I assume will come back with a big parade and lots of victory.
Several bear heads around her belt or something. Yeah.
So, I don't know what the story's going to entail. I want it to maybe stray away from the main crazy-ass storyline that made the main game so good and come up with something that's really good but new. I think, that game for me is one of my favourite games of this year, if not my favourite game of this year, by far. Mainly, the story really took the biscuit for me, and I think if they can take a new storyline and make it just as good, that'll just be icing on the cake for them. Really, I'll just be like, you're already good, and now you're like, get in bed with me. It'll be one of those scenarios.
The game or the character?
Bit of both. Yeah, bit of both. Yeah, I mean, Aloy's not bad. We unmonetized yet. Anyway.
Well, we are now.
Yeah, we are now. So that's Horizon Zero Dawn. Can't wait. Did you finish Horizon Zero Dawn or watch it at all?
No.
I highly recommend it, sir.
See, the thing with that is, I obviously like this sort of hunter tribe sort of thing, but I just don't get the mechanical animals.
It is. There is a really that is how cool the storyline is. It
I just
explains it all.
Okay.
It's
because see, the thing is, I sort of think, well, one or
So
the other.
good.
Either have the futuristic fancy element of all the animatronics and the animals have been replaced by these robots or whatever they are actually.
You'll have to watch or play. It's so good. It's so good.
And then obviously, because then with the hunter tribe thing, she's got bow, an arrow. I don't know if there's any other weapons or anything, but I know it's like an
there are a few
alloy
more.
bow.
Mhm.
She has, and I sort of think, well, why combine the two? So you've got something like Far Cry Primal, which does it really well, sort of the history of it, with you fight the mammoths and all the big animals, and it's that sort of fear of, how do I do this? I've got the bare minimum. Whereas it's sort of, okay, they're robots, I'll just fiddle with the motherboard, you know?
Oh,
Not a euphemism, but unless you want to.
Some of the like the dinosaurs, the animatronics, whatever you want to call them in there, are so huge. Like, you don't even want to go near them. Some of the missions you do late game, like some of the missions I was set up against like animals I didn't actually want to go anywhere near until really late game, where I knew I had like fuck tons of health, and then I was forced into that situation. And it's one of those games that is really confusing at the start, and you're wondering why all the animatronics and why the big robot animals. But it is something that's fed to you later on, and then at the end you're like, "Fuck me, that was." Now it makes sense, you know.
Now I get it.
Yeah, and it does actually have put a lot of thought into how it all makes sense. And I was like, how are they eating and things like that? You know, how are these animals that are not actually animals living and reproducing and all this stuff? How is it all that happening? It explains it in such a good way, and you're like, boom, mind blown. It is really good. We're gonna have to move on.
What if it was all just a factory in China?
Oh, that might be it. It's not, but.
It's Taiwan.
It was a good theory.
The factory's in Taiwan, not China.
Yeah. So anyway, we've gone off topic.
As always.
Highly recommend Horizon Zero Dawn to you and anyone
definitely.
who hasn't played it yet. I think it's one of the gems of this year.
to buy list. It is on my to buy list.
I can borrow it from me if you want. Like,
bring it.
Worth it.
Send
like,
it my way.
Do it. Right. Anyway, moving on to Monster Hunter World, and you watched a bit of that before we actually started filming, didn't we?
Oh dear.
So. What can I say about this game? What have I written down? You're in a dinosaur like alien world, and from what I gathered, you're trying to survive, but also hunt down different prizes. It kind of reminded me of what's it called? Oh, The Hunter. Literally, it's called The Hunter on Steam, but in a more action, awesome kind of way, where you're tracking down these dinosaurs and you're beating them up. But I don't think from the trailer. Like, I don't think that's all there is, if that makes sense. Do you not get the kind of sense that there might be something a bit more there?
I think, this is obviously just personal opinion, viewers may completely disagree with me, and that's obviously fine. I think it looks like they've been making 6 games at once, had a panic, thought we haven't got enough free, throw the code for all 6 together, and we'll call it a game.
Yeah.
I think that's what it looks like. It looks like they've got Pandora from the Avatar films, with Ark Survival Evolved coupled with some sort of Final Fantasy video game with the great big swords and the big armour and all these sort of... I think it was like this looked like an alchemy system where the character was collecting like spores or stuff from the dinosaurs and like plants on and around walls. I just think it looked a bit sort of like they copied a bit from this game, bit from that game, bit from the other, chucked in a pot, stirred it up, put it in E3.
Do you know what I reckon? Because they didn't really give much information on it.
No.
But I think it was like, it's obviously a very obscure game.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of a load of different games. So I reckon their strategy there may have been like, let's just drop this in at E3 this year.
Yeah.
Give a little bit of a hint, you know, and it's clearly reminiscent of a lot of different games, like you said.
Yeah.
And then that might just sow the seed for people to maybe get a little bit excited. Maybe it's going to start like controversy and get people talking. And then later on in the year, maybe at Gamescom, will drop the bomb and tell you all about it, and give the full fleshed out what is this. I think that may have been a tactic.
It looks a bit like they've maybe tried to cater to too many different styles of game.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like there's a survival game element, there's the fantasy element, there's the hunting element, there's the crafting element, there's the alchemy. It just seems like they've taken every single bit from every other game, mixed it together and sort of said, well, let's change this slightly, and we'll call it a game.
If they do that well, it might turn out to
if
be
they do it
a really
well,
successful
it could
game.
quite possibly be a very good game.
Yeah, but
I
a
might
bit sceptical.
I'm fairly sceptical on it because it just looked a bit sort of unusual.
Yeah,
and I think maybe it's. I'm not saying it's necessarily going to be a bad game, but maybe it's just something gamers aren't ready for yet.
Yeah, it's just something new, isn't it? And you're going to be sceptical with new ideas, aren't you?
Yeah, but
I trust Sony.
For all I know, it could turn out to be my next favourite game.
Yeah.
I could just be being really
honest,
judgmental
dude,
of it now.
That's how, like, The Last of Us, by the way, I'll mention The Last of Us at the end. Sony disappointed me. But The Last of Us, I went into The Last of Us and I was like, this game doesn't look that good. And then got to the end of it, I was like, this is my favourite game of all time.
Yeah.
And it still stands as my favourite game of all time. So games
that sort of
surprise
stuff
you.
happens where you go into a game, you think, oh really, and then it just grabs you at this certain point, and you're just hooked. For all I know, I could go play the game, fall in love with it, and just think, actually no, I was really wrong. This is a great game. But then at the same token, I could go along, play the game, and think this is absolute horseshit. Why did I even bother talking about this? However many months ago when it was first sort of mentioned. But it's definitely one I will watch.
Yeah.
But I was the same last year when we talked about the E3. What was the game? The monster one with the dragon hunter?
You know what? I have seen nothing on that since last year.
That's been cancelled.
Has it?
It's been cancelled.
That'll be why.
Yeah, because I had a look at the trailer and I just thought that looks like utter shit. And I think the thing with that was, for me, it was the modern history clash.
Yeah.
He was listening to some fat ass beatsies.
yeah.
In, plate armor with a sword,
Fighting a two-headed
fighting
dragon.
a dragon, and I'm thinking,
what is this?
Well, if you want the music, have a band, a little group of minstrels playing the lute, the harp, and the flute
On the dragon's head.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. To be
Put
honest.
a band of minstrels nearby.
Yeah,
They can play the music while the hero fights the dragon. They can write a song about it, but instead he's listening to Jay-Z or whatever he is. He's like, Beyonce.
So we'll have to move on before
I
we talk
complain
for 3
too much.
hours. Yeah. So that's going early 2018. I'm assuming we'll see more on it this year. So we'll keep an eye
there'll
on
probably
that.
be bits come up at the other game conventions throughout the year.
Yeah, for sure. So, Shadow of the Colossus. Now, I didn't play Shadow of the Colossus, but it does look like they're remastering it. And it does look, it's been a long time since the first Shadow of the Colossus came out. And with, what's it called? The Last Guardian. Yeah, The Last Guardian coming out earlier this year. That's connected, I do believe, to Shadow of the Colossus.
I don't know it exactly, because I've played Shadow of the Colossus, but that was years ago when I was first starting off properly gaming.
Yeah.
I know it's connected somehow or another.
Yeah, they all run in the same universe, aren't they?
It's set in the same world, so I have no idea how it actually connects. But I think if they take Shadow of the Colossus, how it was, up the graphics, up the controls, and make it how it was then, but modernise it. I'm not saying make it exactly as it was, by any means, because there's a lot of bugs in that game. There's a lot of bugs. But just bring it, modernise it, and if you keep the story the same and the monsters with the same design but up the graphics, I think they're onto a winner.
Yeah,
I think it could be like Doom.
Yeah.
Because Doom was obviously a big game back in the day.
Yeah, they brought it back.
They brought it back, and it's done really, really well for itself. So I think if they do similar to what they did with Doom, up it, keep the same ideas and the same themes through it, but update it so it's fun for modern gamers rather than, 1980s gamers.
Yeah, and I do know, I didn't play Shadow of the Colossus, but I do know people absolutely love the game, and I was really impressed with The Last Guardian this year. I didn't even hear about it. I've never heard of Last Guardian before. A couple of weeks before it came out.
Yeah.
It came out, watched the whole thing, and it absolutely took me away. So I'm interested to get into Shadow of the Colossus now that it's going to be remastered. Coming 2018, 2018.
I think so.
I know the years, yeah.
It's 2017 this year.
For some reason, I was like, 2000. No, we're not in the 2000s. Yes, we are in the 2000s.
No, James, it's 1934.
So,
It'll be war in 5 years.
Yep. So coming, it's just coming 2018. They didn't give a specific month or time period.
No.
So,
but I think that's good because then they're not tying themselves down.
Yeah.
So if there is a snag,
and it's one of those games
rather
that
than
you don't want to rush.
No. Because if they do it right, they will do it very well for itself. If they do it wrong, that's going to get so much hate from it.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see that, and obviously, I'm hyped after seeing their success with The Last Guardian. I'm on that bandwagon. I'm gonna, and it's giant.
You're on the
giant
hype
monsters. Train. Yeah, on the hype train. The hype train always crashes. Let's face it.
Yeah, it does.
It always does. So as well as that, we've got Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. It's a new Marvel game. It's a massive mashup of all the Marvel characters ever.
Lovely jubbly.
Yeah, for any Marvel, fan, you're going to cream at this game, really, because you're going to be able to play as whoever you want, from all of the comics, all of the franchises.
You're going to mention characters there, but you couldn't remember them, could you?
No, well, we've got a bit of Iron Man, we've got a bit of...
Superman's
DC. Fuck you, I know. And Batman's DC.
No, he's not. Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Batman's DC.
Batman's DC. Wonder Woman's Marvel.
Yeah, Wonder Woman's Marvel. Or is she? I don't know.
Wonder Woman is DC.
I watched Batman, and that's it. I watched the recent Wolverine movie, Logan. That was good. That's Marvel. Yeah. I'm recently, last year, I'm getting into the Marvel and DC stuff.
I prefer Marvel.
But I've never actually growing up. I've never got into it.
I prefer Marvel purely because of Deadpool.
Yeah, I prefer. Overall, I prefer Marvel. I love Batman, but he's the only DC character I actually like extensively.
I think he's been maybe overplayed. He's a bit tired now.
He needs to retire. He really does. But
he's older than Alfred now, isn't he?
Yeah, bless him. But there is a story demo available today. So that was back at the conference a few days ago. So I'm assuming now.
Download now and receive a free punch up the arse.
Do it if you're into that kind of stuff.
Even if you're not, worth a try.
Do it anyway. We're really good at plugging advertisements, and we sell them perfectly.
Hashtag non-spawn.
I've never heard of that.
Have you not?
Hashtag non-spawn.
That is literally all I ever see on YouTube.
Using
people
that
are talking about games or different products, and they're like, "Oh, I love this." Hashtag non-spawn.
Right, nice. I'm adding that to the channel. Expect that in the coming weeks. That's my new catchphrase.
No, it's not sponsored.
So there wasn't a lot of information given on that, but as I say, if you're a Marvel fan, you don't need a lot of information.
No, you'll have seen it, you'll have fapped over it, and you'll have creamed over it. To put it bluntly, that's what will have happened. Yeah,
and as I'm getting into Marvel, I might play. I'm not amazing.
You'll have a little bit of a fap to it, but you won't necessarily cream too much.
Yeah, I'll get a semi, but it's about as much. What's happening? So, moving on to the elephant in the room.
My dick.
Yes. Well, this game might be a pile of dick, actually. It might not be. But it's Call of Duty World War II.
Yeah.
Did you at all enjoy the last Call of Duty?
I don't even remember what it was, to be honest with you.
Infinite Warfare.
Oh, Infinite Warfare. I played it once.
Yeah, to be honest, just a little pointer here. I've got that poster.
Wasn't it Call of Duty Space or something, the last one?
Yeah, it was in space. Most of it was in space.
I didn't. I never played Infinite Warfare. I played Advanced Warfare.
Advanced Warfare was the last Call of Duty I actually enjoyed, to be honest. After Advanced Warfare... It was very much Call of Duty. There's this guy you've got to kill. Oh, look, at the end of the campaign you kill him.
Oh, but he gets away at the very last second, every single level before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was that.
So pretty much every Call of Duty, every Battlefield, every RPG game.
I did enjoy Advanced Warfare though, but Black Ops 3 was I couldn't stand. Infinite Warfare, I have got the poster, but I don't own the game. Okay. A family member bought me that. Bless them. They don't know about Infinite Warfare.
Know games.
Yeah, they don't know how bad it is. Sorry if you do like Infinite Warfare. I personally don't like Infinite Warfare at all. I played the beta and I've been going more on I don't play many massive AAA shooters now anyway. But in the last couple, since Battlefield 1, I have very much gone on Hardline even, have very much gone on the Battlefield side of things. Yeah. Call of Duty, I grew up with it and now I'm just tired of it.
See, I feel a little bit bad for Call of Duty in as much as they start making the games futuristic.
Yeah.
They start doing this and the other. People accuse them of trying to copy Halo and that they should go back to do the original stuff.
Yeah.
They go back and do World War II, which is what got them big in the first place. And people kick up a fuss saying they're copying Battlefield.
Yeah, which is
So
completely different wars. Let's face it.
Yeah.
World War One, World War
World
Two.
War I,
you
World
know?
War II. There were 2 of them, people. Come on.
Get your history.
About to be 3, so
yeah,
we should probably cut that joke.
with Trump in power, we're staying in. We're getting politics in this bitch.
We're gonna get bombed as well now.
So anyway, so they've gone back on boots on the ground, which
Yeah.
everyone wanted.
Everyone wanted that, but then they're still complaining about it. And it's like, seriously, will you ever
Yeah,
be
well,
happy?
you always get those complainers, aren't they?
No,
Like,
but you see, the thing is, it's 90%
yeah,
of the people who talk about the game, it's all, oh yeah, they're just copying Battlefield.
it's because everyone's still
Now,
salty
it's
about
like,
Infinite
well,
Warfare.
Yeah, they are.
You know, and they're
And
like,
understandably
COD
so,
can't be
because
good
that
anymore.
was a shit game, if we're honest.
Yeah,
I think by that point they'd run out of ideas. They were struggling to come up with anything new, so they just went with, we'll copy and paste the code, change
Yeah.
the game,
Yeah.
the guns even. But now they've gone back to the original. I think I'll play it, but I don't know if I'll love it. I'll tell you, the game I loved about Call of Duty I loved that got me into Call of Duty World at War.
yeah,
That was the first
That was
Call
good.
of Duty
Yeah.
I played the entire story. I loved it. Black Ops played the entire story. Black Ops 2 played the entire story. Black Ops 3 I didn't touch with a barge pole.
you don't want to. It's confusing
Exactly.
and boring. It's like
I
don't like
2
it.
was too many. 3 is a laugh. It's seriously.
Yeah, and well, there is like people saying they're copying Battlefield, things like that. Probably because like in this game they're bringing in more of the vehicles. You can fly planes this time and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But
But that was a mechanic
That
was
was.
missing from it.
yeah, in World at War you could drive tanks and things
Yeah.
like that, couldn't you? And that was awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't think like Call of Duty will never be like Battlefield in a sense that you can drive across massive open like deserts
Yeah.
in a massive
But
tank
then
in a car.
The same
but,
point with
you know,
Battlefield is you drive 5 minutes to get into combat, get killed by one bastard with an RPG,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you have to walk 10 minutes to get to combat, just to get sniped by some bastard on that roof.
yeah, so Call of Duty will never beat that
No,
kind of game.
no.
But I do like how they're bringing vehicles back in because it's going to be so much more interesting. It's not just run and gun around a map because that's what kind of made me really
That's
bored
what
of
all
COD.
of Duty,
Yeah.
that's what it all came down to. It was literally, you're here, you can get here, but there's loads of guys in the way, so
Yeah,
shoot
just
them.
mow them down.
Yeah.
Get your kill streak sorted.
But that's what it became, and that got boring, and people realised that, so they complained. And now Call of Duty are changing it to try and make it a fun game, and people are complaining again.
Yeah, it's. I think this COD might be like, you know, they've listened to the
It's-
advice
yeah.
and the feedback, and I think it could bring them back into the marketplace. You
This
know,
game, if you ask me, is make or break. Either this game will be a big success and everyone will be talking about it and they'll all love it, or it
that'll
will
be
go
COD
more
dead.
tits up than Dolly Parton doing the backstroke.
yeah.
And it will just
And-
floor it, and people will only remember the good stuff. Although they did say they were bringing out a remastered Call of Duty 4 with it.
Yeah, I want to see a remastered Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 is my favourite COD of all time. Like, I max prestiged on Modern Warfare 2. That's the only COD I've ever
Yeah.
max prestiged in. I've never grinded a COD out more than that. I normally stop at like second prestige.
I normally just do the
know,
story and then play
Yeah.
online casually. I don't
Yeah.
even worry about rank or anything.
Yeah, I don't normally like, COD, especially in the recent years. I've always played it casually, you know.
Yeah.
But back in the day when I really
in the
got into
day,
COD,
yeah.
Modern Warfare 2 was just shit. I loved
was
it so
such
much.
a good game.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2 and 3.
The Modern Warfare series, the
The
whole
Modern Warfare franchise
you know.
were brilliant because it was current.
Yeah.
It
And
took
that was the
modern
golden
guns,
days.
it took modern ideas, put them all together,
With a
and
really
it
good
worked.
storyline as well.
It worked, but I think the thing is, Halo's now sort of died a death. So they were trying to take the market from Halo.
Yeah.
They were sort of thinking, oh, the Halo games did really well. We'll try and do something similar to that, but different enough that people don't think we copied everything from the Halo
Yeah.
franchise. But people still called them out on it, and they didn't like that, and they thought, actually, okay, no, we need to change our tune, we need to sort ourselves out, we need to bring out a good game. So they're doing this one, World War II, which was... World at War was the game that brought a lot of COD fans.
That's when COD really did
To
blow
the
up,
game.
isn't it?
Yeah. Because before it was just sort of, you know, a first-person shooter little game that people hadn't played much or heard of much.
Yeah, World at
But
War
then after
really
World
brought
at
it
War,
into its prime.
That's when people heard about it. That's when people started saying, "Oh, I play COD, this, that, and the other. Have you played this? Do you want to go online with this?" That was the game that got them big.
Yeah.
And now I think they're trying to return to their roots to grow again.
Yeah.
Which I think is really good. So this game could potentially do very well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it could also flop.
And Assassin's
die
Creed
a
are doing
death.
it this year as well.
Yeah.
A lot of franchises that have been going on for years are now going back to their roots because that's what the fans want.
Because if you look at the first Assassin's Creed game, that was brilliant. Yeah, it was buggy and the controls,
were
absolute arse.
diabolical.
But that was a good game.
Yeah.
It was interesting. The story was brilliant.
Assassin's Creed 2's story was brilliant. If you boil down the first one, it was kill these guys and return to your master. Good. Now kill these guys for me. Do that 3 times and we'll give you a reward.
Considering it was the first one,
it was
very
a
exciting. It was a new idea. It was, we are an assassin. We can climb up on this roof.
It was a
jump on.
It was a welcome to this universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there, they obviously built on it with the Ezio games with 2. Brotherhood and Revelations, they were really, really good. 3, I think, that's when they started to lose their game a bit.
I think at Unity that it just crashed. 3 and 4, I think they were still with it.
See, 3, I think had
slipping.
it had the good underlying story, but the overtones of it were just a bit, really. 4, they were like, oh shit, this isn't a pirate game, it's an Assassin's Creed game. Bollocks, put an island in there somewhere, you know.
Nice, we got it.
I think as a pirate game, it was brilliant. As an Assassin's Creed game, it was good.
Yeah, have you heard, I mean, we're completely off topic here, so we're going to have to get back on topic before we run out of time, but just quickly, have you heard that Ubisoft do have a full-on pirate game coming out?
I did not hear this.
Go watch episode 3 of our show. Uploading as we speak, actually. It's called Skull and Bones. Look it up, and once we finish, it does look pretty fucking cool.
Actually,
right,
I think I have heard of a game like that.
Yeah, it does look pretty cool.
I saw a trailer for it on Facebook or something.
Yeah. So anyway, we've gone completely off topic.
Anyway.
So just to wrap that up, Call of Duty World War 2 is confirmed coming November the 3rd. So just before Christmas, in that, because you've got the March, February gaming season, and then you've got the November, December gaming season. So they'll be coming, in the second season of the year, which COD normally does. It always comes in November because the kids want it for Christmas.
Because the 13-year-olds want to get it for Christmas. Tell them how they fucked your mum.
Yeah. So anyway,
Xbox bringing 13-year-olds
COD.
and your mum closer together.
So, right, we'll just quickly go over PlayStation VR because we have VR has been a very recurring thing this year, and we've spoken about it in almost every show. To be honest,
Skyrim VR.
Yeah, that is confirmed.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about? Because you're a big Skyrim fan.
I am a massive Skyrim fan. If I'm on the PS4, chances are I'm playing The Witcher or Skyrim. I don't know. If I'm honest, I don't know. If I'm honest, I think they've overplayed it a bit. Overplayed Skyrim. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
A lot.
I love the game, and
awesome.
I will never stop playing it.
But it does return a lot, doesn't it?
That was the first Elder Scrolls game I played, and that's what got me into all of them. That's what got me into Arena, to Daggerfall, Morrowind, Oblivion. What I reckon is instead of remastering Skyrim, they should have maybe remastered one of the older games, like Morrowind.
Yeah.
Obviously, now they've got the big DLC Morrowind on Elder Scrolls Online. But I think what they need to do is they need to stop faffing about with the Elder Scrolls Legends and make the Elder Scrolls 6 for fuck's sake.
Make the new Elder Scrolls game.
Come on,
Bethesda.
It's almost become one of those Half-Life 3 things.
When's it coming?
When's it coming? Is it actually coming? You know?
Yeah. Well,
I think they're just overplaying it because it was such a big success, and it remained to be such a big success. And every single week, I still see in the gaming magazines top 10 Skyrim without fail.
Yeah.
It's in the PS3 or 4 or the Xbox 360 or Xbox One. It's always in at least one of those columns.
Yeah, it is still huge. Yeah.
I think yes, well done. It's an amazing game. I will play it for the rest of my life. I know that. But I want to see what you can do with modern technology.
Yeah.
I want to see the graphics, the new stuff. Although saying that, with the remastered stuff, putting it on your face and seeing it as if it's the microphone where it is, will be very interesting.
Yeah, and I've mentioned this, about twice, I think, in the shows over the past 4 days. PlayStation VR are really trying to get VR into everyone's home to make it a normal thing, because at the moment it is very much, it's for the rich man almost. If you've got a lot of money, then you can afford like a Vive, for instance, because they're like 800 odd
They
quid.
are very expensive.
So but PlayStation VR, they're bringing it into a more an affordable price range for
they're trying to make
the everyday man, and bringing
yeah.
loads of games with it. I'll just list a few games quickly. So you've got Skyrim VR, obviously, but there's a new level platformer in VR called Star Child, a new horror game as well called The Impatient, which VR in horror,
Horror VR.
Yeah,
they're going to be best friends.
They clash and they make people shit themselves so much.
Fun. I watched a PewDiePie video the other day when he was playing a horror game in VR and he got so scared he fell over.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, there's also, for Final Fantasy fans, there's Final Fantasy Fishing in VR.
Huzzah!
Because, why not? Apparently,
Why wouldn't you?
To be honest, apparently a lot of the Final Fantasy fans spend more time fishing in that game than playing the actual game. It's like in Witcher, you play more Gwent than you actually do play the game.
Yeah, if you actually know how to play the game.
I've only just recently.
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, there's a new VR fishing game for Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
If you're into that kind of stuff, there's a new VR military shooter, which I want to see more of because.
Yeah.
To have that, I mean, PSVR is very much, I don't think you get up and move around a lot.
No.
It's very much stationary at the moment. So I'm not sure how they're going to do that.
I think
quite interesting to see.
I don't know exactly where I saw it, but I think it was an Oculus product with the base and it's got a platform around your waist.
Yeah, and then you run with it.
And you run.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's special shoes or if it's just
Yeah,
socks.
you do get special shoes
And
for
they
it.
slide and you can crouch, you can jump. If that were made affordable, the amount of people who would be a lot more active and be a lot fitter would just rock it. All the, excuse the stereotype here, overweight gamers that sit in their room for 24 hours playing this game or that game, they would instead be up playing 12 hours of this game and then they'd have to stop because they'd be too tired because they had played this game solid for 12 hours and it would be like a workout. It would be like doing a full workout, but you'd be enjoying it more. It's like the Pokemon Go thing. When that first came out, people went walking, loads of people lost weight, it was amazing. But that's died a death now.
Yeah, that only lasted a month.
Yeah, the hype lasted a month, now no one's on it. So I think it would be very interesting to see, if it were affordable, the amount of people who would use it, and I know would use it, it would just be very, very good.
Yeah, and also finally, there's an exploration and puzzle game called Muse that's coming out. So PlayStation, as well as making it more affordable, they really are pumping out the games to make VR more prominent. Because VR, I think, in the next, just in the last year, I've already mentioned this, it's become so much bigger.
Yeah.
And I reckon the next, the next 2 years, let alone 5 years, VR is going to be really prominent within the gaming industry. I think it's the next big part of where the industry's going.
The only thing that's restricting it at the moment is cost, because of you want to be able to get up, you want to be able to move around, you want to experience it in a realistic way, so you don't want to just be stood there with your controls. You want to be able to move around, move forward,
and that's
move
not practical
back,
for
and
everyone,
not
is it? Yeah.
crash around your living room. Because not everyone will have a massive living room where they can run from one end to the other.
Yeah.
But if you've got a small living room, small bedroom, small wherever where you game, if you can have it on a base, maybe the size of this table, and be able to move 360, run, and not actually have to move off a stationary space,
Sorted.
it would literally
revolutionise VR,
If VR was to be able to do that in an affordable way, the amount of people who would buy it and would use it, and at the moment is because it's new, there aren't lots of games on PlayStation VR.
And they're still very experimental as well.
Yeah, all the VR games I know of are on the HTC Vive or the Oculus Rift, and they are very expensive VR sets. And again, they're only for PC, and gaming PCs are very expensive, as I'm sure a lot of you know.
Oh yeah.
Currently saving up for one, and trust me, they're expensive. even a fairly basic one, just to get you going, is expensive enough.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the problem with it is cost. If they can find a way to make it cheaper, VR will literally revolutionise the gaming world, and possibly other areas of life as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, off topic, and we're gonna have to move on after this point,
Yeah.
because I don't mind the last episode being especially long. You know, we've got a lot to say, but I don't want to be here until 10. Anyway,
I do have a habit of rabbiting on quite a lot.
but like they're using VR in, like, to teach medical stuff now, and to teach, like, there's always been flight
Surgeon
sims and things like
Simulator
that.
probably isn't the best idea, but
Not the best one, no.
No.
But, like, not only is it revolutionising the gaming industry, it's revolutionising the modern world, and to be honest, that's why I'm so proud to be so prominent within the gaming in community, and that's why I love being a part of this community, because, like, when gaming started out, it was a very negative thing, and as we've revolutionised, like, the gaming community is responsible for this revolution, because, you know, it's one of the most expensive, what am I trying to say here? One of the most expensive industries, you know, most successful industries in the world now.
See, the gaming industry,
you know, not only, you know, in the gaming industry, it's now spilling out into real world.
It is. I've always, when I've looked at it properly, I've always found that the gaming industry is often at the forefront of technological advancement. With getting games on phones, for example. I mean, I know Candy Crush isn't exactly revolutionary game that, you know, is going to be the next Call of Duty or whatever.
Yeah, but 20 odd years ago, you didn't even have Snake.
No, 20 odd years ago, mobile phones were these great big brick things, and you would have to be ridiculously wealthy to own one. Whereas now, most people have them, and they have Candy Crush or Farmville or whatever on their phone, and they sit and they play it.
Yeah.
And the fact that that's on such a small device, relatively speaking, it fits in your hand, and you can play an entire game on it. I still find that fascinating.
Crazy, yeah. And so moving on to God of War, which I know we're both hyped for.
Yes.
Hyped.
However,
Go for your however.
they called it a Viking game.
So give some. Before you go on about this, give us a 10-second context as to why you're talking about this, because people are going to be like, why?
I love history. I'm a Viking reenactor. I love history when it's done authentically. I love fantasy games. However, if they claim to be realistic, I want to see realism, and I don't want to see fetish-clad Vikings in biker leather with fur coming out of their dick holes. All right. So, with that in mind, they call it a Viking game, but it's quite obviously a fantasy game. I haven't got a problem with it because it is so evidently fantasy.
Yeah.
However, one thing is they got their mythology wrong. Jormungandr, the world serpent, makes a brief appearance.
That's the big serpent at the end
big
of the
snake.
Trailer.
That's the little shit talks to.
Yeah.
He is the son of Loki, the spawn of Loki. Loki is the god of... he's a trickster god, as a lot of Marvel fans will know. Don't get even me started on Thor and Loki from the Marvel universe.
We'll avoid it.
A lot of you will know them from that. But he is not a nice snake. He kills Thor in Ragnarok, which is the mythological end of the world. So the fact he turns up and says to Kratos, "Oi mate, I'll give you a hand if you fancy it." He wouldn't really, would he? Would he? Plus, in the mythology, Yggdrasil, the World Tree, Midgard is a disc. It's not a oval sphere. That's the word.
I know shapes.
It's a dish type thing, and Jormungandr circles around it and stops the oceans from spilling out. If he lifted his head up, the oceans would start spilling out. All the fish would die.
Game logic.
Get your facts right.
Yeah, see, we've got...
I've gone off topic there because I am excited for it, and it is evidently fantasy.
Yeah.
However, if they want to call it a Viking game, make it Viking elements. Because I saw a guy in there who was quite obviously based off Viking. He had the helmet, he had the Brynja, chainmail, but it was fetishized. He had sleeveless. Why would you go sleeveless if you've got a Brynja? If you can afford chainmail, you're having the full fucking Warburgeon. You're going to have it half arm, you're going to have big gloves, you're going to have a posh helmet, and you're going to have a sword. You're not going to scrimp just to show off your big guns.
See, we don't only talk about gaming on this show. We go beyond that, you know. It's always actually really interesting to have things like that.
Vikings a lot of them weren't wealthy, and you will see in TV shows and stuff, especially with the TV show Vikings and The Last Kingdom, they get it wrong. I watched The Last Kingdom, and the girl in that was wearing a coat that my mate had worn into college the previous week or something stupid like that. It's
That's
like
just
she'd
bad,
been down to
like-
River Island, bought a fur coat, done.
That's just bad,
Yeah.
like filmmaking, to be honest.
I
Like,
know, I mean, it doesn't
So-
take much, because the books by Bernard Cornwell, history's mostly there. Just follow that.
you do see it a lot in media, though.
Yeah,
is,
it's all leather
for-
fetish gear.
Yeah, for most of the people out there, I mean, you've done obviously a lot of research and all this,
Yeah.
and you're very interested in it. But and I'm very interested in it as well. But for for a casual gamer who doesn't really give a shit and has no prior knowledge on it, they want to. It's obviously the media just want to give them something that they're
Yeah.
used to, And
Yeah.
as a kid, you're always taught the Vikings have horns, all that stuff. Where and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So things like For Honor, for example, will do the classical.
But
Everyone
see,
knows
the
what
thing
this
with
is gonna
that
look
in the
like.
actual history of it. Bronze Age ceremonial helms
Yeah.
had horns on it,
Yeah.
and that was then brought in by Victorian opera houses with the big fat ladies in the bronze
Yeah.
breastplate with the Viking helmet, supposedly. But really, if they're wearing a bronze breastplate, it's Bronze Age
Yeah.
because it's made of fucking bronze.
Hints in the name, bitch.
Yeah. So I mean, my point going back to the chainmail is if you were a Viking and you had chainmail, you were a very wealthy Viking. You may have nicked it from a reserve warrior when campaigning over in Britain or wherever, but the fact remains you would be a high status individual.
Yeah.
So you would not go sleeveless. Because you would be showing, no, look, I can afford to have the sleeves. Look how wealthy I am.
Yeah.
Look how rich I am. Ladies, come, sex me up. I am a wealthy man. It was a show of status.
Yeah.
So I think that the fact that it's just lacking research, if you ask me.
Yeah. And I have actually got back onto God of War.
Yeah.
I've written down it does concentrate on the mythology there, but
Yeah.
obviously I'm not very knowledgeable on the mythology. So do you think they've strayed away from the actual the mythology,
Well-
as in real how it's actually taught for the game purpose or what?
Well, I think they probably will have.
Yeah.
As Marvel have done with the Thor comics and films. Don't get me started. Obviously, I don't know everything.
Yeah.
And I don't claim to know everything. I know enough to talk about it.
Yeah.
But I think what they'll have done is they'll have taken the fantasy elements of it and put it in. However, all I will say is an enchanted axe fighting trolls, living dead monsters. That is very characteristic of Viking sagas.
Yeah.
So in that respect, I am not salty. I'm not gonna kick up a fuss saying, "Oh, this is wrong. They shouldn't be fighting trolls. They didn't exist." No, that is very characteristic of Viking sagas.
Yeah.
The sagas where people split helmets open with Dane axes, and I mean, it's possible, but is
But
it
it's
likely?
a tavern story.
Yeah. So I like that they've got the saga element to it, and it does feel very dramatic and very. He is a good warrior. He knows what he's doing. He's the kind of guy you would follow into battle, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's not got the historical basis that I know I would like to see. And one of the reasons I don't actually play For Honor is because I find the historical inaccuracies in it
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
Because the 11th century, Vikings, knights, and samurai all existed at the same time. They all existed at the same time, and you could quite easily take a 10th century Viking, a 10th century knight, and a 10th century samurai, put them in a game.
Yeah.
11th century. But
You fucked it
I
now.
fucked
yeah.
it big time. Yeah, no. What they've done is they've gone to the media and they've taken the fantasy elements and the fetish style of the leather and the. It's just, if you're gonna do it and call it Viking, do it Viking. If you're not gonna do it Viking, call them barbarians. If you say to me it's a barbarian, yeah, that's fine, because what is a barbarian? Everyone would have.
So it's not going to trigger you as much.
No, because everyone would have different connotations of barbarian. So
Yeah.
coming back to God of War, if it weren't called a Viking game, then I would have no issues with it. But it's the fact they're calling it a Viking game and using the Viking mythology in a way that is incorrect. It annoys me, and I know it will annoy a lot of other people I know, because because we love the history, the mythology, we want to see it done. And when it's done wrong, it disappoints us. And we just think, oh, really? All it would have taken was a small research team.
Yeah.
2 people in a room with a computer, make notes, write it down, go to the developers. That's all it would take. Literally, give them 2 weeks to do the research, and that would be enough to get it correct to enough of a degree that it would trigger me a lot less.
Oh, fair enough. There you go. And if you're triggered and at all salty about For Honor or any other game like God of War, please contact our consultant now. So anyway, I'm happy where God of War's going though. Like the whole storyline with your son, and you've got actually like in the other God of War games, it was very much kill everything.
Yeah.
You know, this time it's very much kill everything, but you've got something to cherish. You've got something to protect. I think it's going to open up to some really interesting and better story, and Sony do story really well.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to see where they take the story, and you know, it's going to be something different for God of War.
It is, yeah, and I am excited for it, and I know I will play it, but I think a lot of it is very grounded in fantasy, where it's meant to be grounded in reality.
Yeah.
And that's a trick they've missed. But I think a lot of it is very characteristic of the mythology, with the trolls and the living dead, and you have to fight these people and that people and the other. And I think that the Enchanted Axe is also very likely of a Viking saga. Weapons always play a very prominent part in those, like named swords, named axes, this, that and the other. But I think if they were to do a Viking game, they should do more research on it to make it a proper Viking game, rather than make a sort of barbarianistic game and call it a Viking game.
Yeah.
I think that's one trick they missed out on. However, it will still be a good game, I'm sure. I will still play it.
Well, yeah, from the point of view of someone who doesn't exactly know what we're talking about when it comes to mythology, badass, and that's all I want out of it. So
That's all right then, yeah.
I want to be a badass with a big frost sword and a fucking axe. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Not a sword. And I want to be there and protect my son. What?
Triggered fucking plate armor.
Don't get him started. It's coming.
Jesus.
It's coming early 2018.
Plate armor.
Early 2018.
This guy was wearing fucking gold plate armor.
Right, we're going to have to move on to Detroit Become Human. Now, they teased this last year, and it was, I don't know if you saw the trailer for it last year, but it's basically, it's this world where it's the world where androids have become part of humanity, and and you can buy them, but they have the same intelligence as humans.
Oh, Jesus.
And basically what you do is you play as an android, and you start the android revolution, because the androids are, they're sick of being treated as second-class citizens. They want to be part of human society, so you start a revolution. And what's really far-fetching and really catching about this game is the fact that there are so many opportunities for like different storylines. It's one of those games where it's not Telltale in the sense that it will bring you back to the same kind of ending.
Yeah.
There are multiple different endings, like tens, maybe even maybe I don't want to say hundreds, but there are that many possibilities.
Yeah.
Every scenario, there's going to be a good 5 maybe different scenarios which could happen within that one scenario, if that makes sense. And you can decide perhaps to be a really aggressive revolutionist and decide to start killing humans and blowing shit up, or you could go for like a peace, more of a what they call peaceful protests. That's it, and things like that. And there's little scenarios where in the gameplay the cops showed up because they were freeing androids from the shop. So when the cops showed up, they showed some different ways of how you could handle it, and there's one where you just ditch your friend in the dirt and you just run for it. There's one where you just hide and we'll try and stealth our way out, and there's one where they just fucking ran at the cops and were really violent towards them. So I really want to see where this goes, and everyone within the YouTube community as well, they'll be recording it, see how many different endings there are, and see how complex this game really is. Because there are a lot of games that claim to do that, like Life is Strange, all the Telltale games, things like that.
Yeah.
That, and some of them do them really well, some of them don't do them as well.
Yeah.
But I really like that they've built high hopes for this game, and they've really emphasised the amount of places you can go and the amount of different scenarios.
Yeah.
So I really want to see how complex this game actually is, and how that affects the story as well.
Yeah, I think first of all, the game sounds fucking terrifying. If there's one thing I hate more than anything, it's robots and the idea of them having sentient capacity. That terrifies me.
Yeah.
So it'd be really interesting to play from the point of a robot.
Yeah, because
So it'd be really an interesting game.
a lot of these robots look like normal humans. They've just got a little light there on their forehead, so they don't look like Terminator robots.
Okay, they look
They do
not
look
like
very normal.
iRobot.
No, they do look very, very normal. But
That's even worse.
oh no.
All they need is a skin-coloured plaster over the light.
Yeah.
You never know.
But oh my god, that might actually be a mechanic. You never know. I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
You can imagine
wouldn't
you
it?
wake up with a girl in bed in the middle of the night and someone has to tell you what a robot takes the plaster off.
Dun dun dun.
You've
Yeah.
got a torch in your head.
But it'll be quite interesting because a lot of movies, things like that, make a robot revolution really, really terrifying. But maybe seeing it from the robot's point of view,
I think
it'll make you empathise it for
maybe,
them, you know,
either
you
that
know.
or it just make you think, oh shit, no, definitely not.
Yeah, we're never making this happen. So yeah, that does look very interesting. They announced it, a tiny bit at last year's E3.
Yeah.
This year they've brought even more. Still no release date. So
I mean,
they're really trickling the information out on
I
this
don't trust
game.
my toaster, let alone a proper Android or anything. So
So yeah,
I'm suspicious of my ice machine as well. So
my ice machine's been talking
my
to the toaster
fridge
about
has been
being-
making some weird moves recently.
You're fucking paranoid, mate. Destiny 2 is this year partnered with Sony, and they're also going, because for PC players, they're bringing it to the PC this time with Blizzard.
Yeah.
So Destiny 2 is coming out. I didn't particularly love the first game. Like, the first Destiny, I loved the single player campaign. After that, I hated the grind. I hated how I played for hours on end and didn't get any reward for it. It was all random.
Yeah.
And that really killed it for me, to be honest. Like, I don't know, a couple months after release, Destiny.
I only ever played the Destiny demo.
Died.
I enjoyed it. However, I think it could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm mostly talking about the House of Wolves DLC. 20 quid. And there's less content in that than a Witcher 3 side quest.
Yeah.
Comes standard with the game.
Yeah.
And the fact that CD Projekt Red make The Witcher 4 and call it a fucking DLC, you know, Blood and Wine, I think they crapped out on that front. They've let players down, as you say, with the looting and reward stuff, because it's all random and it's not level based, which it should be.
Yeah, I do like.
And I think I don't know how they're going to do it differently, because it almost could become one of the Call of Duty things where it's the same game, everything, with a slightly different title.
To be honest, this one does seem like, I've been watching the gameplay. I went into it very skeptical. I was like, I ended up resenting the first game, but this game does seem improved. They did take a lot of the feedback.
I think,
and they didn't play, and they've got like some of the improvements they've got is there's a whole new storyline, and they've got kind of a level based this time, because you start off with no powers at all, and it's about the whole. They said the whole game is about, you know, regaining your powers and getting more powerful, and the more you do within the game, the more powerful you'll become. So there's that constant
there's
progression.
a sort of a level aspect to it without sort of the random reward, hopefully.
Yeah.
And I think it's always good when the developers listen to the customers and think, actually, no, this is wrong, let's do this.
Yeah. And, PS4 brings exclusive content like strike ships, exotic weapons, things like that, so that hasn't changed, to be honest, since the first game. There's always going to be like certain console exclusives.
Yeah.
So Destiny 2 is looking to be a much improved game from the first one, coming in September 6th, so really standalone. I can't think of any other big AAA titles that are coming out within September, so
no, I think most
it won't
of
have
them,
any competition.
as you said, it's November, December sort of time for the big Christmas rush for Christmas noobs.
Yeah. So, Christmas noobs is the best time of year.
It is.
Second best to
If you've had the
E3.
game for a couple of months, you're that bit above them.
It's great. Last year on Battlefield 1 was amazing. Christmas noobs, just Christmas Day, wrecking everyone. It's great.
I had the same with Star Wars Battlefront. Christmas noobs were the best.
It was absolutely amazing. So, moving on from Destiny 2, because,
Moving on from Christmas
to be honest,
noobs.
because really, do we have much to say about Destiny? I mean, we both didn't really like.
I didn't like the first one too much. I played the demo and that was enough for me.
Yeah, I'm skeptical, But I would like to see it do well. I do want to see it become a better game because it is one of those games I was really hyped for. I was really excited for Destiny when it came out. It did disappoint me a lot. So I want Destiny 2 to be good.
It had a lot of promise.
Yeah.
And it looked like there was a lot for it to give to the gaming community, but sadly it did disappoint.
Yeah. I mean, for some people, they still play it for hours and hours each day. So it clearly,
I mean,
is
a
good
lot of people,
for some people.
A lot of people do love it, but it's
just
it's not our
really.
cup of tea.
Yeah,
It's like
not
at the same
really for us.
time, I love Skyrim, and I'm sure loads of people think, oh, Skyrim's a pile of shit.
Yeah. So moving on to the final Sony announcement of the conference, that's Spider-Man. I haven't played a lot of Spider-Man, like for years actually. I used to play.
Do you remember the original one?
Spider-Man,
the PS2 Spider-Man around New York City, where the classic meme originated. Of somebody save me! Face plants. I'm gonna die. Insert meme here.
Yeah. So this Spider-Man gives you like what every other Spider-Man's given you. Like, you swing across buildings, crazy badass fighting and all that shit. At the same time, you've got some of cheesy and cringy, funny lines that Spider-Man gives.
Just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's something I always didn't like about Spider-Man. It's just he always has to make a fucking comment before he kills someone, isn't he? It's ridiculous.
There's always some smart ass, isn't it?
Yeah, but in this game you fight a group called the Demons, which are kind of basically there's two. I mean, the mission they showed, there's two bad guy factions, and to be a bit of Superman twist on it or superhero twist on it. Sorry, you basically in this mission you're protecting the bad guys from the bad guys. It's one of those kind of situations.
Like, seriously, let them kill each other and your job's half done, mate.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's going to be a recurring factor.
Yeah.
Or if it's just for that one mission that they showed, but there are two bad guy factions.
Enemy factions, yeah.
The main one being the Demons, and they've got some sort of crazy superhero power where they have have magical powers. I don't know exactly how they got that, how that fits in with the universe of, is that Marvel or DC, Spider-Man?
Spider-Man fit both, really.
Is it?
He was originally DC, but he joined Marvel for Civil War.
Oh, did
he? Yeah, and I think he's maybe been sold to Marvel, has he? I don't know, I could be talking out my arse.
We are talking about a human being here. We are not into slavery. I'm sure Marvel is, but...
Well, they are a big company.
It may be. So some of the combat style is quick time event style, which I don't know if it was in the other games like that, but if I know from games like Batman, there isn't a lot of that in there. I mean, I do remember some quick time events from Batman, but the combat in there flows really well, and it does look a lot like it flows really well in Spider-Man as well. So I'm hoping they don't overdo the quick time events.
Yeah.
And it's really awesome, the really cool free flowing combat that everyone can just get in and do it really easily.
But then again, at the same time, if it is that sort of stuff, it can then look a bit shit, to be honest. Really.
Yeah.
It can look a bit sort of.
Yeah.
I am beating him to death. Bizarre.
Yeah, so Spider-Man is coming 2018.
Yep.
And I think there wasn't a Spider-Man game last year? Year before, maybe? There is,
I think there was one
recent-ish
not too long ago for the PlayStation 3.
There is definitely another one on PlayStation 4, I know that much.
Is there?
I do believe so, because the amount of times I've looked at it and gone, I'm not buying that.
Okay.
I don't know, I didn't love the last
to be honest, the only Spider-Man game I've played was the original PlayStation 2 one.
I played.
It was an amazing game.
Yeah,
I think all I did whenever I went on there was go climb up to the tallest building, jump off it, and at the last second spin a web and swing off. That's
and with the Spider-Man movie coming out, is it already out or coming out soon still? I've seen trailers for the new Spider-Man
Homecoming
movie.
is coming out soon.
Yeah, so
but it's coming out soon.
I mean, this is 2018, so we've still got a while to wait. But
I
with
think
the
movie coming out,
with the announcement of the game, hype,
yeah, it's going to be a big spider hype.
Yeah, big spider hype. So we're going to move on from Sony.
Spider hypes are tingling.
Fuck's sake. Good me. So we're going to move on from Sony, but before we move off of Sony, I will ask you what's your favourite, what you hype for most from Sony in a minute. But first of all, they announced at the PlayStation big event a few months ago that The Last of Us Part 2 was confirmed.
Yeah.
And I literally stayed up until 2 a.m. to watch a Sony conference just so I could watch The Last of Us 2. And then they didn't announce it. I was waiting there and they were wrapping it up. I was like, oh, they'll save the best till last, yeah? Yeah, surely, yeah? Nothing.
No.
I shed a tear, man. But the developers of Naughty Dog have said, look, I know a lot of people are disappointed, but there will be a lot more coming up later on this year.
Yeah, I think maybe they didn't want to bring out too much in the first one. So maybe what they should have done is scrap the Monster Hunter thing
and put The Last of Us in.
The Last of Us in.
Yeah.
Because I know which game I'd much rather play.
Yeah.
But
Chair almost fell over. Continues.
I mean, I think as the developers have said, there'll be more of it later on in the year, just to continue the hype.
Yeah.
And it'll be sort of play the first game again, fall in love with the characters again, fall in love with the storyline again, and just look at Thunder Jugs.
Good old Thunder Jugs. That's Tess, by the way. Oh,
we should explain. The first summer that The Last of Us came out, James and I think we were 13, were we?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
We were about 13 at the time. We were playing the game. And we happened to notice that Tess had quite big bosoms. So she was aptly nicknamed Thunder Jugs.
And then aptly died in
died.
the first third of the game.
Yeah, so we were like, oh no,
Thunder Jugs, no! So maybe we'll see the ghost of Tess, you never know.
Yeah,
but
maybe we'll see ghosty Thunder Jugs.
Yeah, but like there's been so much speculation, so much hype in the Last of Us community, and everyone was like, can't wait to see it at E3 this year, and then
maybe they missed a trick there. Maybe they could have done something about it there. And
I wanted to see a release date.
Or maybe not even,
see it.
or sort of like a rough estimate, sort of like coming spring 2018 or 19 or.
If it comes
20,
out in 2000,
21, 22.
I'm not waiting that long. But I'd say Last of Us is my favourite game of all time.
Yeah, it's a very, very good game.
Cannot wait, man. Cannot wait. So, on to... Oh, sorry. I forgot to ask. What are you most hyped for from Sony?
Other than The Last of Us 2, probably God of War.
God of War.
I think it's sort of my genre. I do love the fantasy RPG sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I like the Viking aspect of it, even if it is wrong. But I think that will be a really fun game just to sit down and play in the evenings till 3 o'clock in the morning. And then think, oh shit, I've got college tomorrow, better go to bed.
Whoops. I mean, God of War is probably third on my list. Number one's obviously Last of Us Part 2. But I reckon I'm really excited for Days Gone, to be honest. I was already hyped before E3, and then they showed that, and I'm ready for it now. I'm ready to get my hands on it, and I'm quite generic in the fact that I always like zombie genres. So
can't go wrong with a good zombie game.
Yep. So I'll go for Days Gone and then God of War, because I've never actually played another God of War game. I've only seen footage.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it's going to handle and things like that.
I've played, I think, God of War 2. I think it was the second one at least. And I did enjoy it.
Yeah, it does.
It was fun. It was very fantasy, but at the same time, that was fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't like one of those ridiculous fantasy things you just think, oh, seriously? I mean, there's an element of fantasy, but that's just ridiculous. It was a good level of fantasy. You interacted well with the environment around you. I thought it was a really good game, and if they did that however many years ago, I think that this one will be a testament to modern gaming technology.
Nice. So, moving on to Nintendo. Nintendo's press conference was a lot shorter.
I wonder why.
To be honest, a lot of people...
It up in 3 words, more fucking Mario!
I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Nintendo, personally. Some of the things they bring out is okay, and obviously Mario is one of the most famous franchises of all time.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love Mario, but can't be yourself
Nintendo. A lot of people are saying Nintendo won E3 this year. They were the best conference, best releases, and I'm no.
It's funny. I went to
really
shopping centre the other day, Chapelfield, and there was a Nintendo Switch stall type thing in the middle of the shopping centre. Barely anyone around it. Literally, the only people around it were 7-year-old kids.
Yeah.
And that's because they saw games and they thought, oh, let's play.
To be honest, the Switch has been a massive part of their conference this year, which, to be honest, I've given props for, because when the Switch came out, I was like, this is going to be a Wii U scenario where not many games are going to come out for. I mean, a lot of games ended up coming out for Wii U, but it took a while, Yeah. And go for it.
I was just going to say, I think if they do it properly, U Switch could potentially do very far.
Yeah.
Go very far. And do very well because of obviously its portability, its connectivity, the fact you can, I think didn't the announcers say they're going to put Skyrim on it or something, didn't they? Yeah. So you can play Skyrim on the go. So I think even for that, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah. And
Skyrim on the train or something.
yeah, and a lot of people, me included, said when the Switch came out, it was like, okay, we're going to have Zelda for it, they'll bring out a couple of other shitty games, then they'll just leave it and make a new console, you know, but they haven't.
No.
They're really bringing stuff out for the Switch. Cool. So, for Switch. I mean, give them props for that, you know, because I was pissed at them. I was like, why make a new console when you've already got a load?
When I saw the,
you know?
the Nintendo Switch, I actually got pretty excited for it, thinking, oh, this is new, it's exciting, you can take the sides off and stand it up, and you can play really small, you can have your hands over here and play, you can put it on the side and play, that's really diverse.
Yeah.
It does have a lot going for it. But they need to bring out the games.
Yeah, and we see
if they don't bring out the games, it's just going to fall flat on its arse.
Yeah, and we see quite a few companies partnering with Nintendo this year.
Yeah,
Ubisoft included. We'll go on to the first big game that wasn't actually in the it was in the Nintendo conference. It wasn't a big thing. It was the Ubisoft conference, but we ran out of time in the Ubisoft show, so we'll mention it here. It's Crazy Rabbits, which is an Ubisoft
the Rabbids,
thing. Yeah.
Rayman Raven Rabbits.
Good times, and Mario combined together, and the rabbits go into the Mario universe, and it's basically a massive spoof and a bit of a comedy. Like the rabbits dress up as Peach and things like that. And they run around.
If anyone's ever played the Rabbids game, you will know they are completely stupid and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the thing with Mario is it's not completely stupid. I mean, it's a bit daft, but it's fun. And if you compare the two of them, I think that's just going to be a great laugh of a game. And it's just going to be, you're going to play it, you're going to piss yourself laughing, and you're going to forget about it after 2 months of playing it. But it's going to be one of those things that's going to be loved and forgotten.
Yeah, and to be honest,
and then you'll find it again 2 years later and fall in love with it again.
Yeah. And to be honest, I'm not a big Nintendo fan, but I am quite interested in this one, because they did say and they made a statement that this is like no other Mario game ever made before, and that's what I don't like about it. They're just remaking Mario Maker and things like that, Mario Kart, things like that, you know, which I've already played that before. Like, give me something new, give me something fresh, prove that you can do something new with the Mario universe. And they have with this, it's more of a strategy kind of game. Like, so the basic storyline they gave was the rabbits and Mario have to team up to save their universe because it's going to go to shit somehow. Basically you'll meet loads of people and get your posse up throughout the journey. And they showed a little combat section where the combat, like, you can get behind cover and things like that, but if an enemy's behind cover, for example, you can then break that cover down, and it's a lot like the turn-based, like if you've played XCOM or seen a game like that. It's a turn-based strategy combat. It's a lot like that, just brought down a bit for the younger audiences. So they have, completely reinvented.
Yeah, I think it's good that
Mario's
they've done it differently, because as you say, it's always Super Mario Bros, Super Mario Bros 2, Mario Kart 7. It's been done. Yes, they're fun games, and yes, I'm sure they'll make them again in the future, and I'm sure people will buy and play them because they are fun. However, for now, I think it is very good that they're doing something new with Mario's name and not just doing the same.
And bringing in new audience from Ubisoft with the rabbits as well, you know. It's a breath of fresh air, really, and that's coming August 29th, 2017, so very soon.
Day before my birthday.
Yeah, very soon. Oh, get it for your birthday.
Oh, cheers.
I mean, I have to get your Switch. I
haven't got a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, because it's exclusive to the Switch.
Yeah, we'll have to get me both.
Yeah. Oh, I guess you wouldn't be complaining, would you?
No, I don't think I would.
You can play more fucking Mario.
Wow.
So what else have we got here? We've got Kirby, which I've heard of before.
Kirby. I
haven't played. Good.
It's on DS.
I can't talk about much.
Nintendo Wii. I've played Kirby Mouse Attack. That's a really good game, actually. I quite like that. I got it for my 7th birthday.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. I played it solid for like 5 years.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
I'd say you might be interested in this one. So this is one's a 2D platformer.
Same as the others.
Yeah, is it? Oh, yeah. I said I didn't play them.
Yeah, Kirby's 2D side-scroller.
And I found, like, I don't know if it's new to the franchise or not, but there was some quite interesting gameplay mechanics and different features. Like, for example, in the trailer, there was like, you had to fight a tree. And the tree, like, one of its big attacks, it drops those apples down and things like that. I just thought it was quite a creative way of fighting what could be a boss. Instead of, you got a lot of, like, Dark Souls and Witcher, where it's just dodge, attack, dodge, attack.
Yeah.
I don't know how, like, it would be obviously a lot of the same, but you bring in new and interesting ideas to the table, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not just one dude with a big sword, it's a tree dropping apples on you, which I thought was quite a light-humoured way of fighting a boss.
I mean, the thing is with it is a family-friendly game. It is a soft, plushy, pink character who swallows his enemies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not exactly Dark Souls, but
Yeah.
it is a friendly game, and they are very creative within that, and they do very interesting things within that as well. That is clever, but still keep it family friendly, and they don't have to add blood, gore, dodge, attack. They keep it very basic, very simple, very friendly.
Yeah.
But are very creative and very innovative within it.
Mm. Yeah, and that's coming 2018. So, I mean, I'll mention this at the end, but a lot of games coming for 2018. 2018 is going to be busy.
It's going to be a good year.
Yeah, I mean, there have been a lot of releases for 2017, but like considering we're like halfway through the year and we've still got the big gaming season at the end of this year, not a lot of releases.
Not really,
not a lot of variety of releases anyway. No. But what else have we got?
FIFA, really, isn't it?
God damn.
Every fucking
FIFA.
year.
Yeah. Also, Pokemon's coming to the Switch. Just a little announcement they made, which, you know, why not?
Well, it's Pokemon. You can't go wrong with that, really, can you?
Yeah. Bring Pokemon to everything. Everyone will be happy, really, won't they? I never really got into Pokemon.
Well,
but,
I mean, the thing is, even if you're not like
kid,
properly into it, knowing everyone and their mum in it, everyone loves Pokemon.
Yeah, and everyone knows it, don't they? So
yeah,
why
you
not
say
bring
Pokemon
it to the Switch?
Someone, they know Pikachu, they know Ash, you know. They may not know the 1,000,001 sidekicks he had, but, you know, everyone knows Pikachu.
Yeah, so as I say, not a bad move bringing it to the Switch, of course.
No.
So also, Yoshi's got his own game from, you know, because when you've run out of Mario ideas, bring a new character in.
Well, he's not even a new character. Yeah, bring in one of your characters.
Yeah, give him his own game. Yeah, yes.
He's gone up in the world, bless him.
So I found it's got a very interesting level design, and it's in like a toy world, almost as if you're in like a child's playroom, but more open world and more expansive.
Yeah.
So it's got like weird effect to it, and what's really interesting is it's got two sides of it. It's like a cardboard cutout. It's 2D for the most part. And then at certain parts, you go behind the like the cardboard cutout, and you see behind the scenes as to what's happening to make that scenery, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then you go back into the scenery, and it's all back to how it was. It's kind of, you see it from what you'd normally expect from a game, and you go behind and you see how it's all created and things like that. I thought that was quite an interesting like level design technique that I've never seen before.
No, that'd be interesting to see.
And to be honest, this year more than any has interested me for Nintendo, because they are bringing out these new ideas that are organic and I haven't seen before personally. So I'm still not going to say I'm a Nintendo fan, but I'm interested, I'm intrigued.
Yeah. And then if you're intrigued, they've done their job, haven't they?
So Yoshi is coming 2018 again, another 2018. Nintendo,
I mean, all the games are coming 2018, really, aren't they?
Yeah, Nintendo seems to be very quiet this year, but next year they're going to be like, hey, have some games.
Yeah,
they're
going to be sort of, okay, we got some plans, but next year they're just going to make games rain.
Oh, here's something that's coming 2017, autumn 2017 in fact. It's called Fire Emblem Warriors. I'm really good at reading. Let's see, a story of two siblings fighting for their family. Oh yeah, I remember watching the trailer for this and thinking, wow, this is cringy. It was, oh god, it was really cringy. I mean, I thought it was anyway. It was like, the trailer had those classic lines like, we've got to do this for our friends.
Oh god.
And it's like, as a team, we can do it. And I was sitting there like, okay, nice.
It's all that bollocks of, no, I have to do this, it's my fault, this, that and the other. Oh, seriously?
And so you're joined by many other characters in an unstoppable duo team to take down the world and save your family. I say, Nintendo's a much younger audience in general.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of adults that love Nintendo, and that's absolutely fine.
But they do tend to aim their stuff at sort of a younger audience.
And it's trailers like that remind me that, okay, this is aimed at a younger audience. Yeah. Because personally, I cringe so much.
Friendship and teamwork.
Yeah, personally, I was like, okay. So that's coming out autumn 2017. So if you want to, go on a real cringy adventure,
I love
go for it. Also, there's a new DLC for Zelda Breath of the Wild, and to be honest, I almost went and bought a Switch for Zelda Breath of the Wild because it looks awesome.
Yeah.
It does look absolutely awesome, and they tried something new with Zelda's Breath of the Wild. There's not only one DLC, but there's 2 DLC.
Ew.
I know, right? The first DLC is called The Master Trials, coming 30th of June 2017. So, literally, like in what, just over, not even that.
30th of June.
Yeah, we're in June now. So
what's
literally,
the date today? It's like the
19th. 19th, yeah. So literally
about 10 days.
Yeah, 10 days. And
11 days.
That comes out. So
11 days.
Yeah, if you own Zelda Breath of the Wild already, new expansion coming very, very soon.
Get excited.
Yeah. New armor, including a Korok mask. Not exactly sure what that is. I'm assuming Zelda fans will know the backstory.
They'll probably see that and be like, oh, very exciting.
Yeah, it looked pretty badass in the trailer, to be honest.
Yeah.
But as I haven't played Zelda Breath of the Wild, I wouldn't know exactly what that is. But Korok mask is coming. What else is there? New master mode as well. So I'm assuming that's for, if you've played the game, you're thinking
Difficult
this is
mode, yeah.
a little bit too easy for me. Come
This is
on.
for fucking noobs,
Give
mate.
me something a little bit more difficult. You've got the master mode, and then another DLC, the second DLC pack called the Champions Ballad, coming in the holiday 2017. Nintendo kept saying holiday 2017.
I presume they mean summer.
Yeah, is that summer? It must be summer.
Yeah, I presume, because obviously that's the biggest holiday.
Yeah.
The big long holiday of the year.
Yeah, so
for everyone.
It's nice to see. I mean, Zelda's already a massive get-ass game, like The Witcher. It's
Yeah.
already a massive-ass, long-ass game. And to see them coming out with 2 DLCs already, which hopefully will also be very lengthy.
Oh, I'm sure they will be.
Add lots of content, and I respect The Witcher for doing that.
Yeah.
And I can
If
respect
you're going to do a DLC and make them pay for it, do it well.
Yeah.
Don't make a really expensive DLC that is something that makes you regret spending your money on it. If you want to keep the customers, make it something very good that they will be happy to spend their money on and would spend their money on again, given the chance.
Yeah, and I say Witcher did it really well, and I'm hoping Zelda will as well.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Because from what I've seen, it's a really good game, and I might still buy a Switch just to play Zelda. To be honest,
I'm definitely getting a Switch so I can play Skyrim on the go.
Yeah, let's do it. Just for Skyrim. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about anything. I don't care about Mario. Skyrim's where it is at.
So another release coming June 14th, so it's already out by the time by now, and by the time this video's uploaded, called Arms. Literally punch others with long arms. That's what it is.
Nice.
That's what I abbreviated it to. Literally, you've got you and one other person, and you have these arms that extend out, and you just punch each other. It's kind of like a boxing game, really.
Yeah.
But Nintendoized. Is that a word?
Friendly with bright colours.
Yeah, and it's fun and competitive. So it's what
So it's not like Dark Souls competitive. It's fun.
Yeah.
Family game night.
Yeah, which is what obviously with Mario Kart, things like that. Nintendo like the fun competitive aspect,
competitive family side of things.
Which, to be honest, when I play Nintendo, I don't normally, unless I'm going to go play Zelda. When I play Nintendo, I play it with my family.
Yeah,
I don't play it alone normally.
No.
So obviously, that's just a trend that, and I think it's what makes Nintendo so different and so successful. To be honest, because I don't think, personally, I don't think they've got a lot going for them in the industry compared to Ubisoft and things like that. Just my opinion, but the fact that they're all family friendly and everyone can get on, with Nintendo, I think that's really what makes them up there. So 2 more releases from Nintendo. As I say, they had a really short press conference. There's a new Rocket League. Rocket League's coming to Switch. So I was about to say a new Rocket League DLC. Not really. It's just going to the Switch. Yeah. Which, you can play with some Rocket League as well if you're getting tired of Skyrim.
Switch,
Yeah. I mean, Rocket League, I still play every now and then. It got a little bit tedious for me, but it's always more fun with friends, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those that's fun, but best with friends.
Yeah, but of course, when a new game comes to, or an old game comes to a new console, there are exclusives to try and, get you on that bandwagon. So there are Switch exclusives, new battle cards, cross-network play. So say I've got it on PS4, you will be able to play it. If you got it on Switch, for example, we could play together.
Yeah.
No problem.
I think cross-console play needs to be a lot more prominent.
Oh yeah,
a lot
needs
more
to become more
prominent. It needs
common.
to be that you can play with anyone and everyone.
Yeah. That's what I love about PC so much is a massive community. If you bring console into that as well, then there's no end to who you can play against.
Insane, massive.
Yeah, I mean that could
salty family.
Yeah, and you could bring. I mean, you could put that as a negative because if you're making people buy an Xbox because they can't play with their friends, that's good for money. Yeah, it's good for business. But at the same time, us gamers want to be able to play with. I want to be playing with you on the Switch, but if I have a PS4, I don't want to go out and have to buy a Switch just to play Rocket League.
Yeah, don't
with
want
you,
it to be like you have an Xbox One or something and you play this game and I want to play it too, but I can't because I've only got it on PS4. It would help a lot if it was cross-console. Yeah. And PC as well. There would just be
and I think especially as Nintendo is one of these big companies, they can afford to do that. They don't need to force people to buy the Switch. No. So that's coming holiday 2017 again.
Yep.
So Rocket League fans out there who may or may not own a Switch, go buy a Switch if you haven't, just to play Rocket League.
And then you can play it on the train.
Yeah, you don't need to just finish the match before you go out to work. You can play
bring the match
while you're going. Yeah, bring the match to work and get fired.
It's all fun.
It's all fun and games.
Quite literally.
So, the final... Almost fucking threw up. The final release that Nintendo gave at their press conference, and it wouldn't be a Nintendo press conference without a Super Mario game, Super Mario Odyssey. But this one does have a little bit of a new gameplay feature. You have the Mario hat, and you can change into things. So literally, you see something, you can change into that. You see like your trailer had a T-Rex in it. See the T-Rex, just put your hat on top, and you become that T-Rex. And
cool.
Yeah, so. I don't know, new Mario game.
Be an interesting feature to see and how they do that and how it works.
Yeah, and we said more fucking Mario. I mean, more fucking Mario, but at least they're bringing
up... But at the same time, more fucking Mario.
Yeah, and at least they're coming up with new ideas. I haven't seen, I may play many Mario games, but I haven't seen this mechanic in any other game.
No.
So it'll be interesting to, mess around with that and have a bit of fun with that.
Yeah.
Even though, everyone's fucking played a million Super Marios by now.
Yeah.
So
it'll be an interesting game to see what they do with it.
So I do have props for Nintendo this year for bringing out new ideas, which I think a lot of people or a lot of other companies kind of slack on a little bit when it comes to that. Like with Assassin's Creed had a little bit of a grind going to it. They've taken that year, which I think was very smart.
It's very good. Obviously they're bringing out Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah, and with Call of Duty as well, it kind of seems like it's more of a grind. It's like, what's new? Well, we can now double jump. Like, you could do that last time. Yeah, but now it's worse,
What's new? We got new guns, but they're worse than the old game.
Yeah. So I do like how they're actually going away from the norm, and
changing it up a bit.
Yeah, which is nice. So that's coming on the 10th of the 27th, 2017. So
the
that's
27th of the 10th.
Yeah, but fucking
it's an American
get
day,
with it, okay?
The 27th of
Matt
October.
pointed that out, okay? It's like we're multicultural or multiversal.
But Americans put the date the wrong way round.
Oh, how many American viewers do I have? Quite a few.
Two of you.
Quite a few. hey, my audience is still really small, but it's bigger than last year's failed conference.
Well, that's alright.
Podcast that we did. So,
did we do like a 3-hour video and it didn't even get published?
Something like that. Last year didn't go well, but this year that's why we've got the studio, you know. And that's wrapping up Nintendo. I mean, I know we're not massive fans of Nintendo, but I'm actually tempted to go buy a Switch.
I'm tempted to get a Switch.
Yeah, and out of all
considering what they are, they're not horrifically expensive. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not exactly cheap.
Yeah.
But they're not horribly expensive.
Yeah.
So
and,
it would definitely be something worth.
Out of those, what do you want to, get for your Switch?
Skyrim. I quite like the Mario Rabbids game. The sound of that one.
Yeah. That does sound good.
And Kirby, obviously. Fan of Kirby. So.
Yeah, I'd say I'll be buying into Zelda as soon as I get a Switch.
Yeah, Zelda
That'll
as
be
well.
The first thing.
Zelda as well.
And the Yoshi game does look a bit interesting as well. So, with the conclusion of the Nintendo conference, that is the end of E3 2017. I mean, in this show, we did miss a lot of the smaller releases that weren't covered in these big conferences, but this year I wanted to concentrate on the big conferences, the big AAAs, because on my channel I do tend to play the smaller games anyway. So for the channel's sake, I want to make a show about all these AAA games, and maybe I won't have enough money to play or enough time to play, and they're the big talk of E3 as well, So this year's been, I don't know, this year's been, I mean, I've watched it all. I know you haven't kept up with it
honest,
completely.
I haven't watched any of it.
Yeah.
I literally arrived today thinking, right, what do I do? He's like, okay, watch the trailers
Just talk
for these
about games, it's good.
Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, cool.
Nice.
So I tried to steer it off topic as much as possible so I could talk about a little bit of something.
Yeah. But I don't know, me personally, this year has lived up to the hype. I mean, it's not been the best E3 ever. Last year was just absolutely amazing. I remember, you know, I was up at like 11 shouting at my monitor like, yeah, you go, and waking up my family. I was that into it last year. And there was moments this year when I was like that, but
yeah.
So I wouldn't say this tops last year's E3.
No, I think it's not quite on par, but it's by no means.
Yeah, it was really
horrific.
successful this year, and for me personally, this year the return of AC has been really interesting and really exciting.
I'm
Days
excited
Gone,
to see how that goes. Days Gone.
What else
God
has
of
been
War.
released? Yeah, God of War. Oh, what was released in like the Microsoft conference blew me away, and the new Xbox One X. Like so many massive
Minecraft 4K
announcements. Whoa! Yeah. This year's been really successful, and I think this year's show has been really successful, to be honest, as well. It's been an absolute like nightmare, to be honest, to get it all done and to get everything sorted and out onto the channel. But now that this episode's out, you know, I can rest easy and cry about and cry until next year's E3 with a lot more abundance of games. So that's going to wrap up this year. Thank you very much for watching this episode, or if you've watched all 4 shows, it's absolutely amazing. Of course, put your opinions and your comments in the comments down below. Of course, get involved in the conversation. You know, put your opinion and air your thoughts as to whatever we talked about in this video today, and whatever maybe come up in E3 or anything we missed, perhaps anything you want to talk about. Put in the comments down below. I'll be active and would love to get some good talks going, because I've said this every episode, that's what E3 is about. It's about bringing the gaming community together, you know, and that's one other thing I love about E3 is the fact that gaming community can sometimes be looked at in a very negative way, and the positive vibes E3 brings, I know, and all the happiness that comes out of it. I mean, there's been some conferences this year that got quite emotional, in fact, you know. So it's just a chance to show the world what we stand for and what we can do and bring, you know. So it's been really successful. A massive thank you to Acorn Studios, who allowed us to use this studio for the filming. If you're in the Norfolk or Durham area, they do a good photography. I get my own beautiful face photographied here.
As you can tell, they airbrush.
They make my shitty looking face look beautiful. So it really
even then they have a job of it.
Yeah, really. So if you're in the Norfolk or Durham area in the UK, of course, go down to Acorn Studios. They've got a beautiful studio here, as you'll see from this beautiful wooden backdrop. It's been the backdrop for all of our videos here, and massive thanks to them. This wouldn't have happened without them, really. Because do you remember last year we tried to do it through Skype?
In our bedrooms on Skype.
It was absolute shit.
It did not go well.
And a lot more planning to go into this year's, but to be honest, that's more professional. You know?
And I think it literally was last year. Oh, have you heard of this game? Oh no, wait, let me have a look.
Yeah.
And then you'd sit there all in silence for like 5 minutes, all watching the trailer and the gameplay. And then all of a sudden it just exploded. We'd be talking over each other because we couldn't see each other. We wouldn't know, see sort of cues as to who's going to speak next. It was a bit of a clusterfuck. Yeah, so this year, massive improvement, and next year will be an even bigger improvement. Of course, we'll be back next year talking about E3 and all that shit. But do not worry, I'm not going to be silent on the channel for the next year. If you're new, I know, right? It's awful. If you're new to the channel through this series, quite a few people have coming through this series, then do subscribe, stick around. I do a lot of games, and apparently I'm funny. You just said do.
do. I see I'm funny. I'm really funny. I swear I'm funny.
I promise that next year I will actually watch all the conferences that I'm going to talk about.
Nice. That's always useful.
I didn't watch any last year, didn't watch any this year. So what you need to do is you need to give me a lot more notes and say, right, this conference is on this day, we're going to be talking about it.
Dude, we should
fucking watch it.
We should live stream it next year. Do what IGN did this year. They do an hour pre-show. They have a conference, then they talk about it afterwards. I would love to do that. Yeah, maybe we'll try that next year.
We need some drinks and snacks.
Yes, maybe we'll try that. Maybe. So until next year when E3 returns, I'm already hyped. Thank you very much, Archie, for joining me for the final show here.
For having me.
Yeah, thank you very much for airing your opinion.
Yeah, thanks for putting up with my bloody opinions.
Thank you very much for putting up with me.
It's a daily struggle.
And thank you to everyone who did come on the show this year and giving up their time to talk about games and listen to me talk about senseless shit. Basically, my channel summed up. So, thank you very much. Until next year or until next time, I shall say goodbye.
Goodbye.